So if I wanted to stargaze and go somewhere where I could really have a beautiful dark sky, the national parks are really a great place to go and do that, aren't they?
They often are. We are a great place because we don't have a lot of development typically. We do have urban parks. Golden Gate is a national park. We have one in St. Louis. They have the city lights for this, but our more rural parks, we don't have a lot of development. And we've also taken a lot of additional steps to reduce our night sky pollution. We've actually gone through and retrofitted many of our lights in the park, or most of the park, to make sure those lights aren't shining up to pollute the sky, but shining down where we need them. We've also gone through and looked at our lighting in the park to see where lights are needed and where they aren't. Because sometimes, maybe you only need one light here instead of two, and we've gone through to reduce those to really kind of lessen our footprint of what we're polluting up into the sky.
Well, dark sky. So you can actually get a dark sky designation?
Yes, we're seeking an international dark sky certification. We are in the process right now, and we have to go through these steps to reduce our light pollution, show that we're reducing our light pollution, changing out fixtures, doing education programs, and doing those things will get us as a internationally certified dark sky park. And there's many national parks that have gone through these processes, and we're hoping to be one of the next ones.
Mammoth Cave National Park. So, people may not even comprehend what you're talking about.
Yes.
We talk about light pollution.
Yes.
You hear about air pollution and all other kinds of pollution, but light pollution actually affects the animal life here, the plant life here, the human life here.
It does.
People don't think about that.
They don't. Dark sky is a resource. If you think about it, that is a resource we want to protect and we want to keep as a natural part of our environment. Dark nights are important for wildlife. Some animals only feed at night, so they go hunting, they look for food, so it's important for them to have the dark. It's for protection at the dark for these animals, so keeping it dark is the best thing for their environment. There are even certain types of birds that migrate in the dark, and so they rely on the dark to figure out how to move around, and by having these light areas, it hinders their movement there. And then for humans, culturally, thinking back thousands and thousands of years, the night skies have inspired science, religion, art, literature. People have always written about the night skies, so it's kind of an important thing for us also to experience, to look up and see the stars. I know I remember my grandparents pointing out the North Star, explaining what that is, and the Big Dipper, and so being a place where people can still come and see that here is an important thing for us, and we want to make sure we keep that dark sky alive.
No kidding. And then astronomy, you get a lot of amateur astronomers who come out here because they have access to this dark sky.
Yes.
Is there any kind of organized group within Mammoth Cave National Park?
We don't have an organized group. We do have a few rangers that are very passionate about the dark sky. They focus their programs and their evening talks on the night sky to our visitors that come here. And when the conditions warrant, we will do what we call a star party, where we'll have these rangers come up and they'll set up telescopes and we'll show visitors what the night sky looks like. We'll point out different features, show them the moon, show them different planets, when the weather cooperates, of course.
We're talking about Mammoth Cave National Park, the longest cave in the world, and a national park on top of that. But people individually can do things to lessen light pollution, right?
You can. It's actually not as hard as you think. It's sometimes looking at your light fixture. Is it shining up in the sky where it's not needed, or is it going down towards the ground where you actually need to see? So it might be looking at changing out those light fixtures or aiming your light in a different direction. Sometimes looking for warmer bulbs. Instead of that blue light that is often very harsh and polluting, a warmer light still allows you to see, but is less, it doesn't spill out as far, if you will. So there's little things you can do in your own life too. And also just even thinking where you can turn lights off. It saves you money for electricity and payment that way, and reduces pollution.
So if you came to Mammoth Cave National Park and you wanted to see the night sky, you can't go out on the trails in the dark at night, but you have orchestrated programs where, people can come in and take advantage of
We
that.
can, and the park is open all the time. So if somebody wants to come in and come out to one of our open areas, especially around here at the Visitor Center, and look up, they can. Okay. It's open for them to do it. Occasionally our rangers will either have organized programs, One of them, I know, he says he just comes out and puts up his telescope, and as people walk by, they're like, "What are you doing?" And he shows them.
He shares.
He does. He says his favorite thing is to show them around, and whenever he can show them the rings on Saturn, he said that's the moment, because they're so excited to see those rings on Saturn.
Thanks. You taught me something about the dark sky. Thank
Yeah.
you for that.
You're welcome.
We've been talking with Molly Schroer, who's the Assistant Manager and Public Information Officer here at Mammoth Cave National Park. We're in Spelunkers Café.
Yes.
Although spelunkers sometimes like to call themselves cavers.
Cavers.
Instead of spelunkers.
Yes.
This is Coffee Near Me. I'm Barbara Deep. Remember, you can keep that conversation going. Who would you like to sit down with and have a cup of coffee? Thanks for joining us. Thank you for that information.
You're welcome.
It was good stuff.